What's up, guys? It's Jam1 from Jam1TCG coming to you guys with another totally awesome video. And guys, today it is round 11, the final round of the Crush Card Cup, Cimoooooooo's online tournament that we've been playing in for the last couple weeks. So we're gonna get hype. We're gonna see how I do in this final round. And yeah, let's see what we're playing in this matchup. I win the dice roll, and I'm actually facing, believe it or not, pendulums. Yeah, pendulums. I was expecting emancipators or eldritch guys, and then all of a sudden it's pendulums. Is it trif? Trif gaming? But no. So I don't know who this guy is, but long story short, yeah, he's playing pendulum. So this hand I was thinking like, okay, this is enough to stop. Pause here. Remember, I've been changing my deck a lot throughout the tournament because I had the meta figured out last format. Then when we started to get this new April format, everything started changing on me, and I had to change my strategies. So this is like the theory of my deck that has been working against emancipators and eldritch for the most part. There's still a lot of things that don't work, but you guys might see the DD Crow is new. It's basically to get rid of like plays from emancipators when they get stuff in graveyard. That's important. Getting Alistair out of the graveyard, and also just to get like when Eldritch starts to get the golden board in graveyard, right? And then you guys, I'm still picking up Dynastic Mind. It's not as strong though because people are like starting to use Cosmics in their main and things, but it's still okay. And then we have like things like Lilith still, and then goes in match. I thought I took it out, but then I remember how good it is against dinosaurs, and people are playing dinosaurs now too. So we got to cover as many matchups as possible, guys. It's impossible to cover every matchup, but as many as possible. So you guys see me doing my signature Lilith Mime thing here. I go ahead and I normal summon Lilith, and I put the Mime on top. If you guys haven't seen me do this before, I'm sure you have if you've been following me up to this point. Long story short, if you haven't, please watch the last videos. You'll see. But basically, Lilith has a quick effect. So the minute they normal summon or bring any monster to the field, I can just literally tribute Lilith off and then stick them into Mystic Vine. And it forces them to do stuff. So I'm like, if this is an Emancipators, this board is perfect because I'm going to stop all of their plays. They can't play around Gozen either. And then I would have a Trap Tricks to stop their normal summon or something if they got rid of mine. So I'm like, okay, we're sitting pretty here. Against Eldritch, though, this wouldn't be a good hand. So, but then we see him activate the Citadel. I'm like, I thought he would be playing one of the two decks. Why is he playing Pendulum? I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So Citadel has a long effect as you guys are reading it right there. But long story short, they put all of these counters, spell counters, can like they're markers that go on cards, and basically they can do stuff with certain effects. But yeah, he goes ahead and he puts that in, and basically he can build spell counters up, and then he can use those spell counters to move it to different places. He activates a pendulum scale, which is Cerberus. And to be honest with you guys, I haven't played pendulums in forever. And I didn't read a lot of their effects, or I don't remember a lot of their effects. But Cerberus here, when it's a pendulum scale, it allows him to basically, yeah, he can destroy it and then basically add a level 7 to his hand. So he destroys the scale and he brings level 7 or lower. He brings the Garuda. And Garuda can basically destroy spell and trap cards. So now that I know that this is not Emancipator or Eldritch, I'm like, oh man, my game plan got to change here. They still can't really play through Mystic Mind. This is one of their only removals for it. One of their only. They have a few, but this is one of them. So I'm like, I'm thinking on the ad there. I don't want him. I'm thinking if I want to flip over my trap tricks here, because I can basically remove it and then stop him, right? That's what I'm thinking here. So I let him do it, and I let him activate it. When he activates it, I flip over my trap tricks, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to just go ahead and bring out one of my removals to get that off the field. I was going to just banish the Citadel, but I'm like, you know what? If he has no way like, to get this Mystic Mine off the field, I just win. So I go ahead and I banish the Dino Miscus, and I set the Dino Miscus. I don't know why. Oh, okay. I went with Dino Miscus instead of the scale because I didn't, instead of the Olean Noises, destroy it. Because remember, guys, when pendulums, as you see here, when they get destroyed, they go to the top of the extra deck. I didn't want him to have access to this card again. So I wanted to just remove it from the game. So I go ahead and set it, and then I go ahead and just banish it right now. I go ahead and I say, yeah, I'm going to flip it now, and I target that, and I banish his Garuda. I'm telling him he was trying to activate. I'm like, no, I'm doing this before you like even activated it because I chained, right? When he activated, I chained and I chained, right? So that's what I'm doing here. So I go ahead and I just get rid of this DD Crow because I don't think it really matters in the Pendulum matchup. Again, I was prepared for Eldritch and other stuff, and then here I go facing something that's not that. So he goes ahead and activate another skill, and yeah, when Pendulum scales, that's what these zones are. If you guys aren't familiar, I know like most of you guys have played this game, but some people maybe not know what pendulums are, but they basically become spell cards when you play them in these pendulum zones. And then you can pendulum summon. Which pendulum summoning, yeah. So he goes ahead and uses, they have both monster effects and spell effects. So he uses his spell effect. It says right there, pendulum effect, and then monster effect. So he's using its spell effect, spell pendulum effect to bring out the Jackal. So when he brings out the, not Jackal, I'm sorry, Cerberus. When he brings out the Cerberus here, Cerberus now has a monster effect. And I'm just reading it because I'm just like, okay, I'm really thinking, let me just stop him right there. I go ahead and I activate Lilith right there to basically deny him from being able to do something, right? So I didn't want him to use his monster effects, but pendulum effects still work. So that was his workaround here. I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize that. So I go ahead and I try to set all my removal cards because if he plays this pendulum skill, I might as well get rid of it later. So I got the Oleanoids here with Lilith. Then he activates Upstart. He's trying to dig for cards here to get rid of stuff. But also note here, you see this going up, this little chip thing? That's a spell counter. So every time he activates a spell card, the Citadel gets a spell counter. And his other monsters get spell counters too. Like most of these newer Pendulum monsters, the spellcaster ones, they get these spell counters. So you see him getting 2 counters there. So he gets a counter there and he gets a counter there. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't want him getting counters. He goes ahead and does this. This is one of their searchers. They get the add. I can't say this guy's name. Endymion, but it's like Mighty Master of Magic. That guy. Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic. Say that a couple times fast. The thing about this card, though, is it has so many effects. Like, look at these effects. It's ridiculous the amount of effects it has. It's so long. It's really long. But one of his main effects is where I am in trouble here. He can remove counters from the field, basically, and then destroy the field. That was a mistake. He didn't mean to flip that. You can't play them face down ever. But yeah, that was a mistake. So he activates his skill, and then now he's gonna use the effect. He can drain counters from the field and then bring it out and then destroy things on my side of the field equal to the number of counter monsters that can hold counters on the field. In this case, or not even monsters, I think cards that can hold counters. So yeah, in this case, he has 3 cards. So this card can hold a counter, himself can hold a counter, and then this card can hold a counter. So he literally just blew up my whole field there. I was like, oh no, yikes, that was the way out. Like literally that was his way out. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that to happen because I assumed I was safe under Mystic Mind. But yeah, no, that, you're wondering like, okay, remember, that's why I explained this. That was his spell effect. So Mystic Mind only stops monster effects. So because it was a trying to mouse over it there. But yeah, that was a spell effect. When it's a pendulum card, it's actually using spell effects, not monster effects. So that's why he was able to do that. And I was like, wow, I couldn't have seen that coming because, again, I mean, I could have, but I hadn't played pendulums against pendulums in forever. So I'm just like, I didn't think they had another out. And then I drew it evenly, which is okay, but it's bad because this guy has, like I said, like so many dang on effects. One of his effects is if you activate a card, he can basically negate, like a spell or trap card, he can negate it, like by sending something back. So I believe I just go ahead and say YOLO, might as well activate it. I go ahead and I go into battle phase and I use my evenly match and then try to remove his stuff. And then that's what he does. He bounces it back to his hand and he negates evenly match. So now he has all of these counters and monsters. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I have much left here. I didn't expect to get my field nuked by that thing. And then he activates this one. This is another. They have so many weird cards that can just hold all these counters. Here's some advice. If you're in real life Yu-Gi-Oh, if you sit down at a regional, your opponent has like all of these dice, like a big box of dice, you know they're playing this deck because that's how they track it in real life. They'll put dice on top of the cards so you know what has what. So yeah, anytime you see your opponent with like a million dice, they're playing his deck. So he gets the Servant with that, and then basically Servant does a lot of things too. She can get the Mighty Master from deck. She can do a lot of stuff, honestly. It's so much text. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you guys. You can read it if you really are interested in reading it here. But again, remember, they all have two effects, the spell effect and the pendulum effect. He's using the pendulum effect right there, the one that basically says if she has 3 counters, then she can come out with another card. So he removed the counters from the Citadel and then put them on her, and then because she had them, she was able to bring out the Mighty Master. So I was like, yeah, I can't do anything. So I scooped, guys. And then we go to game 2. Now I'm just thinking like, okay, well, pause here. You'll see my hand. I'm like, this is one of the cards that you guys see me trying against Eldritch. I'm like, well, this might actually work against this matchup. I don't know what I would call, but it's good to have it going first. Maybe Lightning Storm, or maybe Mighty Master. I don't know. Just stop them from using that stuff. But I'm just like, okay, this goes in match again, clutch in this matchup because it's actually pretty powerful. They have lights, they have winds, they have dark, so goes in match is really good. I'm just thinking like all my back row hate, like my Oleanoids and my Dino, I have this stuff. So I'm just like, this hand is okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. So I believe I go first. Yeah, I go first because I need to get set up. I don't want him to get set up because they end up with like 5 negates or something if you let them get set up. So a normal swap frog here. And then I go ahead and I send Ronin. I'm trying to bait out any hand traps he has. Maybe he got a DD Crow or something. I just want him to use it now so I can know what cards I need to deal with. He doesn't do anything, though. So I'm like, all right, so he must not have any hand traps, really. Pendulum doesn't play a lot of hand traps because they need at least 2 cards usually to start their combos. So anytime they need about 3 cards, really, to get to their combo pieces. So they don't usually run hand traps or anything. Let's see what I call here. I don't remember, to be honest with you guys. Okay, I call it Lightning Storm. Yeah, that was probably the best card. This is the other application I have for this card in my deck because I'm tired of getting Lightning Storm, guys. It's literally to the point where people are main decking Lightning Storm now, and it's just like, wow, blowout card. So I call that so I can set my cards without them being destroyed, okay? So if he had a Lightning Storm, it's now dead in his hand. And I go ahead and I set 4. Set 4 pass. Well, set 3 pass, but 4 spell and trap cards. So I just don't waste no time. I don't want him to get nothing out. So I go ahead and I flip over goals and match now. The reason why you guys are probably thinking, like, why did I do this so early? Well, another card that Pendulum likes to side that I remember, they side Denko Sekka, and Denko Sekka can literally ice my entire back row, and I couldn't play cards. So I learned that if you have floodgates and you're playing against Pendulum, shotgun them in your standby or draw phase, and their standby and draw phase, so you can basically still play. Because if he summoned the Denko on me, now at least he would be locked into light, and I can make a Toad, and I'd be fine. But then he has the Cosmic. Like I said, a lot of people are playing this card now because it's really good removal against the Eldritch. So he goes ahead and he banishes my goes in match, which is like, oh man, I was relying on this. So now if he summons a Danko, I'm praying. I'm like, don't summon Danko. If he summons Danko, this duel is like literally over. I'm like, don't summon Danko, don't summon Danko, don't summon Danko. So he activates this. I'm like, whoo, he doesn't have a Danko probably because he would have said if he would have summoned it first to just ice everything. So no Denko Sekka. He goes ahead and he plays this one, and that's her Pendulum effect. Now he's going to start trying to get counters on it. So he goes ahead and he gains me life points. I'm like, cool. Life points, I'll take life points. So I'll draw a card. Sorry, he draws a card, and I gain 1,000 life points. Sit that backwards. So then she gets a spell counter. Then he plays this one to try to add something else. That's going to give her another spell counter. Basically, don't let this thing get to 3 spell counters because that's how it can summon stuff. So he gets the Mighty Master, which I honestly wanted to prohibit that. But to be honest, I think Lightning Storm was way more impactful right now because if I can stop him from getting that to the field, then I'll be okay. So I go ahead right here. As soon as it got to 3 counters, I'm like, no. I'm just like, absolutely not. Just let's stop this right here and now. I go ahead and I banish it off the field with Oleanoids because I'm just like, yeah, no. You're not bringing out Mighty Master again. I hate that card. That card is so annoying. I know you're like, wow, he had to get rid of Swap Frog. I know, but to be honest, it was worth it to not let him bring that crap out. I couldn't let him do that. So he goes ahead and he activated. This ended his this kind of like messed up his play. So he goes ahead and he activates the instant fusion. I almost like instant fusion. That's just an extender. He must not have anything. So he brings out this relinquish card. This relinquish card is pretty good. It basically can stop hand traps, as you guys can read in here. It can absorb like a relinquish, but then it can like stop you from doing stuff. But it was kind of subpar here. Then he brings out the souls. And I'm like, okay, now I know his hand sucks. Because the only reason why you would bring out souls here is to draw more cards. And if you're trying to draw more cards, you probably don't have anything, right? Because like I said, you need 2 scales, right? You scale, then you can pendulum summon. I'm almost like, okay, stop the pendulum summon. I'm good. So he goes ahead and he sends, oh yeah, it has a lot of synergy in his deck. He can send a Jacko. That's really nice. He sends a Jacko with the souls. So he doesn't have to play the brick. And right here on that, I flip over Canada because I don't want him to link with these cards. If he links, he'll get rid of, he can, like, let's say he had a Lightning Storm, he would go into Phoenix and then destroy this. Then he would Lightning Storm my rest of my cards. Or he might just be having a play to get into something else. I didn't want him to do nothing else. So I just said, no, we're just going to flip here, Book of Moon, and stop. If you guys don't know this, you cannot link summon with face down monsters. So he wasted 2 summons. He doesn't have any cards in hand. Also, by doing this, this stops him from drawing cards with Magician Souls, right? So I chained my Dino Miscus in graveyard to bring out a monster. I'm good because he can't absorb this. He can't absorb it with Relinquish at all, period, because it's unaffected by monster effects. And then also now I'm stronger than both of them. 1200 is better than 0, guys. So I'm sitting like, all right, we're good here. I think he's thinking that's why he's not doing nothing. Yeah, he goes and just ends his turn. He just hardened his turn. I was like, this is good. I basically cleared away his field, and now I can do stuff. I draw border, which is okay in this matchup. I wanted to get it on the field, but remember, guys, border has that clause where if you have another monster, you can't. So I'm just looking at my graveyard here. I'm like, uh-oh, guess what's in there? Uh-oh, here we go. So there we go. I'm looking at my graveyard and I noticed it. I'm like, oh yeah, we gonna banish and bring out a Ronin. I'm like, oh, anything? I was trying to bait a DD Crow. If he didn't have a DD Crow, which we know one card in his hand is Mighty Master, so that other card must have been a spell. I knew it had to be a spell because why else would he play Souls, right? He was probably trying to get rid of the spell. So I'm like, oh yeah, he can't stop this. So it might be a Lightning Storm actually because it is banned, right? So I'm like, all right, let me just before I make Toad, let's get some damage in. So I go ahead and I attack with 100. This is the only time you'll ever see Samurai Frog destroying a monster, Samurai Toad. So Ronin Tonin gets in there with his bamboo sword there, hitting him with 100. And then we're going to go ahead, Illinois good in there for 12. And from here, you guys know what's coming. Overlay into our totally awesome Exceed monster. Exceed Shogun Toadally Awesome comes to the field, and now I'm feeling pretty comfortable about this game because he only has 2 cards, and I have a negate. He's going to draw another card, but we already know Mighty Master is one of those cards, so unless he draws another Pendulum Scale, who cares, because I'll just negate the Pendulum Scale, and then he won't be able to Pendulum Summon. So I go ahead and I set border because I want to start building my resources up to be able to flip this next turn and just end it, basically, or ice him from playing the game. Because, like I said, the best way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, guys, is to not let your opponent play Yu-Gi-Oh. So he goes to his turn now, and then it's going to be standby phase. We go ahead and use Toad's effect, of course. Bring out a Duke Frog. Now we're good and chilling because he has to attack that first. So border's going to be safe. Toad's going to be safe. I'm like, what else can he possibly do? Then he just ends his turn. I'm just like, oh, that's it. It's over. Because most likely, he can't stop me from doing on a standby phase using Swap Frogs, bringing out Swap Frog with Toad's effect, right? So, and if you just do the math here, sometimes it's just good to be simple, right? So I bring out Swap. If you add it up, border is 2,000 plus 2,020. He only has 4,800 left. And then we have right here, Swap Frog being 1,000. I'm like, that's 5,000 something damage. That's game. So I go ahead and I just don't get greedy. I could have started doing Burrow Sword and all this other stuff, but I was just like, no, I'm just going to flip up border and just go to battle phase right here and just end it. So I go ahead and I just attack and attack. And then that's the end of the game. Next game. All right, so we hop into the next game here and we just start siding. So now I know that he's going to try to go first. So this is my thing. I'm like, what pendulums usually do is they go and build this giant, disgusting board. So does Emancipators. So I'm like, my plan here is I side in all my back row hate, right? you guys see me. I like Zappion still, so I'm using it because I think it's good even against a Pendulum matchup. Honestly, that's why I put it in here because I can shuffle back his scales and then he won't be able to recurse stuff or anything that's holding counters. He'll lose all those counters. So you guys see me. I open double Lava Golem. This is like amazing. So again, the Lava Golems are in here because you guys see me use it in the last match. It's in here because I can break Emancipator boards easily, right? And they always have two. My logic is they always have two monsters to be a threat. Okay, two better than Spear Mode because sometimes people play around Spear Modes. And being a Pendulum player, I'm sure he's going to play around Spear Mode. So he goes ahead and he activates the Pendulum Scale setting. If you guys watch the Arc V or Arc 5 anime, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so he goes ahead and he sets the Pendulum Scale so he can Pendulum Summon. I don't know if I think he does more before he does that though. So he's gonna go ahead. Remember, every time he activates spell cards, a lot of these newer ones they get the whole spell counter. So he's gonna search the Cynodil with the field spell. Gets a spell counter on that. Then he's gonna go ahead and activate the Cynodil. Then he's gonna summon. He pendulum summons right here. So if you guys again aren't familiar with the pendulum mechanic, those scales things, these like little numbers that you see on it, the red and blue numbers, he can summon monsters in between these two levels, right? From his hand or from the top of his extra deck. So he goes and he summons from his hand. He's pendulum summons two, he said. So he summons the jackal from his hand and then this reflection from his hand. Pendulum summon is such a broken mechanic, guys. It's so dumb. That's why they had to nerf it, but hey, it's still pretty powerful. So he gets two monsters on board, and here he goes into this thing. This thing basically is like a Lilith, like my Lilith, how I can select random 3 cards and then set it. It's the same thing, but it does it for spells. But he gets to add it to his hand. So he goes ahead and he activates that effect. Oh, I was verifying too. When he pendulum something, I was like, wait, is your levels right? You got to check that because some people will be cheating with it, but he had the right levels. I just hadn't seen pendulum summon in a while, so I'm like, huh? Oh yeah. And I was like tired. You see, I said mind fart. So okay, he goes ahead and he searches, right? He gets one of the 3. He shows me those things. It has spell books, name, and then he gets one randomly to his hand. So we're gonna see which one he got randomly into his hand in a second. And that's this guy's effect. So he goes and he added. So he uses this thing's effect. It can take off spell counters and then special summon itself as its pendulum effect. And now it's a monster, not a spell anymore. And then he goes ahead and uses the effect and he gets a jackal. Jackal is strong too. Jackal can basically like negate monster effects, right? So he's just going nuts here. Reflections, effects, basically shuffle back and then do stuff, right? Get this other scale. So he sets another scale. And I'm like, oh man, now he's going nuts. He's getting counters everywhere. He goes secrets, book of secrets, right? Book of secrets lets him get the blue boy. That's what they call this guy, blue boy. So blue boy, the spell book magician of prophecy. He normal summons that because he didn't normal summon this whole turn. Normal summons, he gets that thing's effect. That thing's effect lets him get a spell card that has spellbook in the name. He's going to bring back Spellbook of Knowledge. Spellbook of Knowledge is basically like a pot of greed. It lets him draw 2 cards if he sends a spellcaster to the graveyard. So he goes and he pendulum summons into this thing. This broken thing, Salim is really strong, guys. It's a new card that came out in Duel Overlord, which was that pendulum set. So it has a lot of effect, like a long effect. But basically what you need to know is it basically special summons as a quick effect monsters, spellcaster monsters from his graveyard as long as he has the counters to do so. And his field is loaded with counters, so that's no issue for him. So he goes ahead and he uses her effect, removing counters from the field, right? And then he brings out the blue guy who he just put to the graveyard. And then with that, he can basically now use that to draw 2 cards. He can send something useless to the graveyard and draw 2 cards. So he sends the blue boy back to the graveyard and he draws 2 cards. Just styling on me, just getting all his card advantage. But I'm looking at my hand like, this is okay because I can just, it depends on what he ends on, but then he goes Desire and draws more cards. How many cards did he draw, guys? This is probably like what, like 4 or 5 cards that he's drawn his whole dang on turn. Ridiculous. No, more than that. Yeah, way more than that. Okay, whatever. So he's just styling on me. So he goes ahead, he draws 2 with Pot of Desires, right? Then he's just gonna do a lot more shenanigans. He removes the stuff, removes spell counters in order to bring out stuff. So he uses her effect. Once she gets 3 counters, like I said, she can bring out a Mighty Master from the deck with her. She comes out, they come out at the same time. So they're there. I'm just like, okay, crap. This is not what I want to see. So his field is stacked, guys. Look at this. He got Salim, he got Jackal, he got the Master, he got this guy, he got the Citadel. He just looking like sitting pretty here. I'm like, oh man, this is looking really rough. Then he scales another card, and I'm just like, man, stop doing stuff. Literally, this turn lasted like so long. I'm just like, stop. I know you guys had those moments where you just sit here watching your opponent just style on you, and you're just like, let me know when it's over, all right? Okay, so this is his end board, guys. He ends on the Salim, this, the Jackal, and then this. I'm looking at my hand like, okay, what do I draw? So I draw another removal card. I'm like, this hand is great, actually. I'm able to basically, what I should do, this is the game plan, right? I should Lava Golem over any threats, because I can activate Lava Golem twice. So that gives rid of 4 cards, right? And then if I lock him into goals in match, he'll be forced to keep the Lava Golem or something else. And then I just lock him into an attribute that he can't do anything with. And then I get rid of my own Lava Golems and start trying to go into Toad. And then also I can activate Zappion to shuffle the Citadel and get rid of all of his spell counter on his cards, right? Or any Pendulum skills. That was a plan. So I think here, and I'm just like, all right, Lava Golem, straight up, might as well. That's what the count. Salim obviously is a threat, right? Because he can special summon cards back with her. So I'm like, I got to get rid of her. And then I get rid of Mighty Master because he stops my spell card activations, right? As you saw him stop my evenly match in the last game. So I'm like, okay, get rid of both of them first. They're out of there. Get them out of there. Then I place it into this zone because I want to clog up his space, right? Especially now since Pendulum Summoning needs their extra zones. I'm like, I want to clog up his space. So as you see, they go to the top of the extra deck when they die. So, okay. So then I'm like, Lava Golem again. Guys, this is the mistake. If you guys are a Pendulum player, you probably know what ones you should get rid of, right? I'm not going to mess with the Lava Golem. That's dumb. So I'm just like, okay, Jackal definitely got to go because Jackal can stop effects. And then I was like, I'm going to get rid of Salim because, or not Salim, Servant. Whatever. Her name, right there, Servant, right? I was going to get rid of her because I was afraid. I didn't want him to get access back to, like, bounce it back to his hand or something and scale it and get another Mighty Master. That's what I thought was going to happen, right? But my dumb self didn't read, and this is so bad. So this guy right here, he has a quick effect that lets him basically special summon from deck with the counters, right? I should have got rid of that because you want to get rid of the cards that have the most interaction, right? So I got rid of Jackal and Salim, or in Jackal and Servant, and then I tell him to put this in this zone right here. So I get rid of that. That was a misplay. I'm thinking like, okay, I can lock him to Earth, and now he's gonna be stuck, and then I can win the game, and then just like start snowballing to making my Toad and all that stuff, right? Well, I should have got rid of this guy because now you're gonna see on the end phase he uses this thing's effect. And I remember just sitting here and I was like, wait, what? He has an effect? How did I miss that? Guys, it's so important to read your opponent's cards. I don't care, like, honestly, if they start rushing you, who cares? You need to just stop for a second and just like, hold on, I'm reading. I need to read. Like, because if you just do plays, you're gonna like mess yourself up. Because if I would have took the time to just read the card, I would have known that it had a quick effect, and I would have known that this was gonna mess me up. So he goes ahead and he activates a quick effect. He takes out the spell counters from the Citadel, and he brings a reflection from his deck. And now he has another body on the field when if I would have got rid of that, he wouldn't have had any way to interact with me at all. So bad, man. I'm so mad at myself. This like really just and this is an example of why you guys gotta like focus and just don't overdo things. So he goes in reflections, and reflections can bounce back a card. So now I'm like, he brung back my Dino-Miscus, and I'm just like, wow. Now he has more cards on the field. The game plan is still to use goals in match, but now it matters less because he kept a light monster, right? So I'm like, oh man. And he bounced his thing. I'm just like, oh man, this is like messed up. So Lava Golem goes ahead and burns them for 2K because each of them both activate on a standby phase. Then he has another reflection in his hand. He goes ahead and he pendulum scales it. And then he's trying to use reflections effect to special summon something. And I was just like, you know what, right here, I guess now I might as well flip over. Yeah, I flip over Gozen Match because I don't want him to bring out another light monster or dark monster or something or anything. So I'm like, I'm forcing him to play either light or fire monster at this rate. So he goes ahead and he gets rid of the lava golems and he gets the light. So I'm just like so upset at myself, guys. So upset. So you guys see now he basically has all the monsters he needs on board. They're light monsters, so it doesn't matter, right? Goes and matches isn't doing as much work as it should have done. If I would have got rid of the reflection, or sorry, this one, if I would have left that on the field, he would have been stuck into wind monsters. And as we see here, the deck doesn't really have many wind monsters. So that would have been good. But now he goes ahead and he bounces the Gozen Match back to my hand with the reflections. And now he's uninhibited by what he can do. And I don't have any Nibiru or anything. You see him say doing math. That's never a good sign when your opponent says that, right? So upset, guys. So he goes ahead and he scales the Jackal, right? And then he gets more counters on the Citadel. He gets, I keep saying Jackal, but that one, it gets Jackal. That's why I keep saying it. But yeah, it's Cerberus. Cerberus gets Jackal. Scales the Jackal. Jackal's skill effect brings out the Cerberus. Then I think he's link summoning here. Yeah, so he summons the Breaker, Daybreaker, with those two. Then he scales again, sets the pendulum scale again, and then here he goes. Big, big, big fat pendulum summon right here. Pendulum Shogun, and then guys, if you're doing the math here, that adds up to be game. And just like that, guys, I threw away the victory. So again, King of Misplays here. I always seem to I get excited when I'm winning, and I don't know. Like when I get so excited, I just don't think straight. And then when I don't think straight, I end up doing really rushed plays that if I would have just took a half a second to just stop, breathe, and think, this wouldn't have happened. So, and it's arguable. Maybe his hand still had enough to get rid of my field, but it wasn't likely, honestly. What would have happened is, like I said, he would have been locked into either Lava Golem or the Wind Monster, and then he would have been stuck and not been able to do anything. Because there's no way he would have been able to bring out Wind attributes, or he wouldn't have been able to bring out Fire. And then if he would have kept my Lava Golems, I just would have just, got rid of them, right, with the Dino-Miscus and stuff. So, we threw it away, guys. So, yes. This was the Crush Cup, and I don't know. I know you guys want to see, even though this happened. I know you guys want to see my deck profiles, and maybe I'll do a reflection of things that I could have done better and things like that. We'll see. This still before the top cut, but I think this puts me at X3 or X4. I don't remember which one, but to be honest, I don't think it's good enough to top. So that's why I'm saying yeah, it's pretty much it. This is the last round of it. Unless, I don't know, we'll see. Stay tuned. Maybe there's more, but I'll let you guys know and update you guys if it is. But I believe this was the end of the Crush Cup of the main rounds before the final cut. And then I don't think I'm going to make the final cut. But yeah, stay tuned because if you guys want the deck profiles, let me know in the comment section below. I will probably, there's 5 different versions of my deck that I played through this whole thing. So if you guys really want it, let me know. All right, stay tuned.